Good morning, Namaste. Welcome to one more D-Life course review video. This is Narsimha from D-Life, a D-Life certified metabolic health consultant, and also the academic aide at D-Life Healthcare Private Limited. Today we have with us Mr. Govind Lohia. Mr. Govind Lohia is the co-founder and CEO of The Good Weight, a comprehensive doctor-led platform dedicated to tackling obesity and metabolic disorders. Previously, Mr. Govind Lohia was a co-founder of Celia, a one-hour diagnostic delivery for rural India. That has served around 10,000 or more than 10,000 patients. With over 15 years of experience in healthcare, Mr. Govind has led sales and marketing for very big organizations like Johnson Johnson, all those. And to also mention, he is an alumni of NIT Warangal. Welcome, Mr. Govind Lohia, for today's D-Life course review podcast. Nice to have you.
Thank you so much, Nasima, for having me. And good morning to all the listeners who are listening to this podcast.
So, from 15 years of experience in healthcare, and what is that motivated you to look into nutrition and why D-Life? What made you look into D-Life?
Right. So, as you mentioned, I've been in healthcare for last 15 years and largely into curative space because a lot of my career was into surgical space with Johnson& Johnson, MedTech, and other companies. What eventually I came to realize, and which was both a personal realization as well as seeing how things are moving around, most of the disorders can be attributed, or can be prevented. Uh, Currently, we are in era where there is so much we are talking about metabolic syndrome. We're talking so much about lifestyle disorders. So these are all something which are preventable. You can prevent them, and that's what made me thinking that started that ball rolling. As an entrepreneur, I always want to do something in the preventive space. That's where my part of my entrepreneurial journey also started. And while I was following a lot of people on Twitter and other platforms who are contributing to this whole space, whom we can call as the key opinion leaders, be it doctors or the fellow practitioners in nutrition, that's when I came across two Indian figures very prominently, and both of them eventually I came to know are D-Life alumnus. They are the backbone of D-Life, one being Ms. Meera Sahai and the other being Mr. Shashi Iyengar. So I started following them on Twitter, started listening to their tweets, what they have to share, and also the kind of confidence they enjoy in the international community. Because among all the international stalwarts, what I know from Twitter, uh, they were exchanging views and things. That's what made me introduced to Do Life for the first time. I came to know about the Life platform, and when I decided that I needed to do professional course or a certified course, I think D Life was a very natural choice for me. There was no one when I evaluated like a basic evaluation which I did. No one came second for the kind of comprehensiveness of the course, the depth of the course. Both when I say comprehensive, it's the width, the depth of the course which I came to know when I started doing it, and also the kind of outcomes they are delivering, because that's also very important. And that all led to me joining D Life for my low carb nutrition and metabolic health coach uh, diploma.
Nice, nice. And what do you think is very special in D-Life course? What is that something which caught your eye?
To start with, you always join something. You don't know everything, the entire story. It's like you can say an iceberg. What you see is only 10% and 90% is the below. What 10% which I saw for D Life is obviously as I mentioned earlier, started with Ira and Shashiana. Their tweets, their no. Then when I started digging, look at your website and everything, it looked very genuine to me. Credentials look very genuine, and more importantly, you are not offering a crash course, because there are hundreds of people out there offering 1 day course in metabolic coaching, 2 hours course, and stuff like that. But once I went through the entire curriculum structure and the pedagogy which is present on your website, that gave me even more confidence that this is something which more than real life requires my big commitment. in terms of 6 to 9 months of commitment, and from a fees perspective, also a substantial fees compared to, let's say what other people are offering. So that kind of gave me confidence that these D-Life is serious about what they're doing. And that was the 10% of that iceberg. But once inside the community, that I would say the belief became even more stronger. Looking at the kind of community D-Life is running, the kind of people who are leading it. I got introduced to Anup only after joining, rather. And in the very first conversation when I was discussing about course, before that I didn't know about Anup as a founder of D-Life. So and I think that belief and that trust and that kind of validation of the decision of joining D-Life course became stronger by the day. Uh, yeah, so
That's nice. That's nice. Iraza is the Chief Operating Officer of D-Life Healthcare Private Limited. Or if you follow Iraza on X, the highlights if you see under our section, it's a testament of what D-Life Low Carb can achieve. You know, all the complicated cases she has been taking, and the fantastic, amazing results come up just within weeks of following the D-Life protocol. And but to mention, Anup Singh is the face of India under low carb nutrition at a global level. Anup founded D-Life in 2014, and he pioneered 100-gram carb max per day, which 2020-60 as a protocol for Indian vegetarians. If you talk about the Indian context, at a global scenario, the face of India under low carb nutrition is none other than Anup Singh of D-Life. And
yeah, and I would
uh,
like to I'm sorry, I'll like to come in. I like to add to that now, having known Anup for almost like 10 months. Uh, I think he's the leader, he's the face. If someone led the foundation of it, but still is not the face of the organization till now, and that speaks volume. So it is not someone who's looking for the name coming out or being the thing. He's like, I'm doing my good work. In his words, which I've seen many times, is like line khichti raho. You keep on doing your
yes,
work and the line will keep growing. So that has stayed with me, and I think that again, when I say that 90% of the iceberg discovery which happened, one of them was the whole personality of the founder. That someone who's so grounded, who's so promotive of others. That doesn't happen usually. So who's so promotive of others. Even the other day, Anup kind of promoted me or encouraged me that you should start sharing your stories, user stories on the outcomes that you are delivering. It's very important. I think credit to D-Life that they have really done that very well, which you're mentioning about the success stories. Because today, what people and this I've seen time and again, what people are looking for is not promises, but results or the outcomes that they're
yes,
delivering. So while our
yes.
brand might claim a lot of promise, we can do this, do that. But one case study, in which they can imagine themselves that okay, this can happen to me, is where brings in a lot of confidence on in that music.
Yes, and DLF has been doing this since 2014. We are the only one now. We are giving such amazing results with LCHF and many complicated conditions also, especially autoimmune conditions. Where allopathy has failed, and many have come to Vaira ma'am with the success that comes up within weeks, and not just that. Diabetes. We have more than 2,500 diabetes reversal cases or fatty liver reversal cases or overall metabolic disorders we are telling. And this DLife is doing since 2014. And what is the support you got at DLife, the DLife community support? How was that?
I think I mentioned in my written review also that while the course, the very expansive course which is there, it's like the body of the D-Life, but the real soul is the community, where all that you're learning gets kind of converted into practical application, number one. And number two, more importantly, because the course is so huge, it's impractically, not impossible, but usually we are taking it up as a, let's say secondary or tertiary thing in our usual professional life. So in that case, the community helps you realize that what is important. So let's say out of the entire, D course or D life course structure, there are some 200, 300 plus topics. But in the community, it's like a typical Pareto. Those 20% will get applied time in and again. Like what are those five? supplements, what are those five conditions, what is the resolution. So that kind of ingrains that in your brain, that community repetition and the expert support which we get there. So I think that there the community plays a very important role. That's number one. And number two is it's a very supportive community. Uh, while D-Life is a platform where it produces individual practitioners, but I think all of them coming together and that 1+1 becoming 2 and not 11. I think the D-Life community is a clear exemplification of that.
That's nice. That's nice. And with this course, I would also ask you, is there something that some myths were there running around in the mind or in the brain, and we used to follow, we used to have fear of something, and then this course actually tears apart those myths which we have been following for quite a long time.
See, from a myths perspective, I think today's world is a very diabolical world. You search for any evidence. It's like the anchor bias. So let's say if I say that my anchor bias is fat is bad for heart health, and there will be thousands of publications which can support that. So today's world is so much information is available that for every bias that you have or every hypothesis you have, there will be supporting evidence. And the same is case with the hypothesis or the the reality which D-Life is founded on. So and I think personally I believe that with and you are sticking to those hypotheses. D-Life always sticks to that. There is no if and but, or there are no exceptions to it. So sticking to that basic principles, which is let's say the low carb or good fat is good, those basic principles, and it's working. So again, as I mentioned, the proof of pudding is in eating it. People are following what you are telling, and that is giving results, right? So myth, there is in my personal opinion, there's nothing called as myth as of today. There is of course evidence for everything available. It's just that what your beliefs are in, and whether you are able to deliver those beliefs for your people or your clients, and they believe in that or not.
And yes, the D life is basically an individual approach, but the bottom line lies is in the 100 gram carb max per day, with 2020 60 protocol. And after learning this course, doing this course, and after following LCHF, how do you see the changes, or what transformation have you been seeing by following the LCHF protocol D life way?
No, see, for me, LCHF, like joining this entire course, as I mentioned, one was the professional thing, right? Because I am leading a company, but I have a lot of healthcare credentials, but nothing related to nutrition. So one of the major reason for joining D-Life was that, let's say, Alak Pandey running Physic because he's a teacher, he knows how it runs, and that's why it's so successful. Same case with, let's say, Nikhil Kamath or Nitin Kamath doing Zerodha. They were traders for many years, and hence they were able to build a successful organization. I think that thing was going in my mind, that while I have a very very supportive and capable and experienced team with whom I am working, both my as a co-founder and my team members. But personally, I always felt that lacune, that I have knowledge about healthcare, but not about, let's say, nutrition. And again, I don't want to be Instagram knowledge, that whatever I read on Instagram, I go and apply. So how are those grounded? How are those anchored? So that was one of the reason for searching for D-Life, that how do I become, more credible to run a metabolic health
Mm.
organization in terms of, rather than just being someone who's running a business, can I also consult clients and contribute to a very healthy team discussion on developing the protocols or serving our clients. That was the one reason. Second reason, and which again I have shared publicly on D-Life platform as well, my own metabolic health. See, I've always struggled with metabolic health. Be it comes to, I've always have a tendency. There is a set point of, there is a set point theory in the whole obesity space, and I felt I always had that set point, that there is a range. I neither go beyond it nor I do I able to come below it. That's where personally also D-Life has added a lot of value to my personal health as well. And I think I'm immensely grateful for that, because number one, learning, number two, believing in that, Number three, applying it to yourself. So since I've applied those principles to my own health, and I've seen results. So I've seen like the overall energy levels and the biochemical parameters that we typically track. There is improvement in all of them. Of course, there's a lot of headroom, and I, again, as I mentioned, it's not a like a 3 month meal plan. I'd never call it a meal plan. It's basically a lifestyle or that you are teaching yourself. You are unlearning a few things and you're learning a few things, and which you continue for the rest of your life. The new learnings, you will keep on seeing the results, or you will keep seeing that improved health or an optimum health for yourself, which I'm seeing. And the same I'm seeing with our clients also, because a lot of principles which we learned at I learned at the real life in collaboration with my other doctors and my co-nutritionist or my team. uh, we apply a lot of those principles which I've learned at D Life, and it is giving very very encouraging results for our clients as well.
Yes, that's nice. That's nice. The LCHF, the DLF way is discipline for life. That's what I tell about that. And
Absolutely.
yes, now that you are legally certified, do you think that the course fee you paid was worth in everything?
See, I have two answers here. Number one, when it comes to health, uh, cost is not the right parameter. Although coming from a healthcare background, everything we evaluate from an economic outcome perspective. There is a whole science of what is called as the HEMA, healthcare economics,
Mm,
where
mm.
you try to see. So I'll come to that lens later. But the first lens for me, I think, with the D Life course, number one, I'll be able to apply principles to myself, my family members, and even my clients, because I run an organization professionally. And the kind of outcome I'll be able to give in terms of years of health span and lifespan, that is invaluable. So no money, as in our culture and in our mythology, we always say that when someone's time come, you can't buy even one single more breath. It's written in our scriptures and everything. So from that perspective, I think I wouldn't even evaluate cost. Now, coming to the more, let's say, practical answer or less philosophical answer, uh, I think it's worth it. The fees that D Life charges, because see, it's not about just doing an online course. It's about the community that you are getting, the support that you are getting, the learnings that you are getting, the access to resources that you are getting. And as again quoting Anup, he always says that someone, even if someone is able to do about 15 clients, that fees gets break even. So which is nothing. 15 clients, if you are really good, uh, and which D Life courses technically makes you good from a fundamental perspective. The second aspect is, of course, whether you're able to get clients, which I understand now. Again, D Life is helping the passed out students and interns to do paid up assignments as well, right? Consulting. So I think it's totally, totally worth it from a fees perspective. Also, there's no question about it.
Well said, well said. That's what we feel. See, even in my case, after I did the direct course, my health become better, and I was able to take care of my, parents' health also. Where earlier it was a financial burden, now it is not there. So now I know. Now it's like, DLF course is like a blueprint which I have. So I know what to do, what not to do.
Correct.
So that, yes, that's nice. That's nice. And you very nicely said. One point I would like to add one more thing to that point. See, we cannot add number of years to the life we are going to live, but definitely whatever years are left, we can make it living with quality. So D life adds that quality to that life.
No, absolutely, and I'm pretty confident it add years as well, because let's say
Yes.
once your health span increases, then definitely it has a direct correlation to your lifespan as well. So it
Yes.
adds both.
Yes. Exactly. You know, when we talk about disease reversal, D Life is the one which has been pioneering it since 2014. Now, I would like to ask you, what is that you're going to tell to anybody who is a prospective enrollee for a course, somebody who's willing to do the course? What is that you would like to tell them?
think for anyone, evaluating or rather enrolling in the course, I think the message is clear. Number one, uh, this is a course which requires your commitment. Okay, so don't go by just whim or just that moment that okay, let me enroll. First and foremost is you need to commit yourself, because without commitment of enough hours, and we have seen that so many my batchmates, so many of them didn't finish the course because it requires commitment. It requires hours commitment. It requires learning acumen. And I'm telling you that the learning is not easy. I'm someone who has science background. I've done biotechnology. I understand all the terminology. I understand Krebs cycle. I've read it during my engineering days. But still, again, doing it after 15 years, I found it slightly difficult. So the first and foremost is that whoever is trying to enroll, if you are committed to put in the hours, then put in so much of money and join this course. But once you have joined and you have that commitment in place, this course is phenomenal. You can change lives of, even if you don't want to practice professionally, you can change lives of yourself and your family members. That would be like the biggest benefit or the biggest deed you can do for your family members. Let's forget about anyone else, even your close family members in the three generations. You will be able to add so much of value, and that value is going to give you return. Because if the health improves, the quality of life improves, that will lead to more happiness, more. Your family will be more happy. There will be more content in the family, and obviously, it has financial savings. It has all the every aspect it touches your life, because health is one aspect which touches you in every single way. So and second stage, like if you really want to become a coach as such, then of course you are touching so many lives externally as well. And uh, uh, D-Life is an amazing course which can help you do that.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Anybody can easily learn this course. The language is so simple. And with from batch 9 onwards, we also have paid internship coming up. Also, we have guest lectures from international stalwarts, guest lectures from DLF Global Community also. And also, I would like to mention here, our course is having 144 CPD accreditation hours and also NSDC partner certificate, which you can directly pull it into your DigiLocker account. Mr. Govind Lohia, very nice talking to you. You've given some great insights about, how DLife course, has been helping you. And do you like to tell something else apart from this?
So, again, my heartiest gratitude to entire D-Life family, because D-Life is not one course. I would never call D-Life course. It's a community, it's a family where a portion of your learning happens through the course, but a greater learning happens through the senior mentors, and the entire community. Because even someone who is enrolled now, they're asking the right question is helping you answer those questions. The senior members answer those questions, and that's a learning for everyone. So again, immense thanks to everyone, in the leadership of D-Life, be it Anu, Veera, Shashiana, Sima, Sayan. Everyone I think is amazing. Sayan was my sort of go-to guy during when I enrolled for the course and handholded me for a lot of things. So again, I would like to express my gratitude for Sayan as part of this formal review. And I've already seen results. I'm seeing results in myself. I'm seeing results applying the principles in my client, and I think it is something which will stay with me for the rest of my life. Some of the principles that I've learned, and it's like equation. It's like a math equation. So once you learn that a plus b whole square is equal to something, you put anything in that a plus b equation, and it will hold true. So D Life teaches you that equation. It's not about diet charts. It's not about a diet plan, but basically teaching you first level of principle, the first principle thinking, that you apply that and results will follow.
Yes, exactly. That's what DLF has been doing since 2014. Thank you very much, Mr. Govind Lohia, for coming today and having this course review podcast. I wish you good luck and all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nasima.